Today we're going to see a road rage incident with a defensive firearms carrier who I actually think might have been too careful. Hi everyone, welcome to today's research-informed defensive lesson here at Active Self-Protection. I am your host as always, John Correa. You know, every day we post a real-life use of force caught on camera and analyze it for lessons learned so that your training and practice can be more research-informed. Today's video comes to us from Port St. Lucie in Florida. Today's video is brought to us by Delete Me. Delete Me can help you protect yourself from identity theft, from phishing scams, and from harassment online because of your personal opinions or any other reason, and I recommend them highly and have been using them for over a year. Delete Me automatically queries all of the online data brokers that exist and get your records removed so that you don't have to do that work yourself. I've personally noticed that having used them for a year, that the number of spam text messages, emails, and phone calls that I was getting beforehand have dramatically reduced. It has really made my quality of life better, and I am very glad to be a Delete Me subscriber. Hit the link in the description or scan the QR code or go to joindeleteme.com and use code ASP at checkout for 20% off. That's joindeleteme.com/ASP, code ASP. As this one begins, guy in the Mercedes that we see on camera here has raced around the guy in the pickup truck with his wife, stopped and blocked the road, at least blocked the front of kind of the car, the truck that he's in, and has gotten out of the car. You're gonna see he has a gun in his hand and he wants to argue. We have audio of their argument. Let's listen into what happens.
Should I shoot him?
Bro! Bro!
Give it.
No!
Hey, man.
I'm telling you right now. You pull that.
You were the one that started it. Hey, man.
I'm telling you right now. Give me the phone.
Get the
Out that phone. Get out of the car now. Pull that out of the car.
Who the are you, bro?
You're out of the
Harry, you're getting arrested. You know this, right?
Our hot-headed Mercedes driver is then going to climb back into his car and toddle off down the road. Our truck driver ended up calling 911. The local sheriff's office picked up the Mercedes driver a couple of hours later. He has been charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts of armed robbery for trying to take their phone, and 2 counts of simple battery. Those are serious, serious charges. Can't tell you enough, really, one of the best resources on the internet is the Active Self-Protection Extra channel. It's a second channel on YouTube or a second rail in the ASP Unlimited app where we do every single Friday. We do a video analysis. We talk about real life self-defense from a perspective of legal and moral use of force. We talk about how these things go in a court of law from a place of experience. Hit the link in the description and you can find those and watch those as well. Friends, road rage is wrong as a football bat, wrong as a $3 bill, dumb as Forrest Gump. Do not do this. You've got to, especially if you have a firearm. If you are a firearms owner, you have to recognize that you are just required by the laws of common sense to be a good, sane, sober, moral, and prudent person because you have the means to do deadly harm. So you can't get all up in your feels like this. You have to maintain control. And I get it. Reed Jonathan hates the righteous mind, and people, you know, they have the elephant and the rider, and the elephant sometimes stomps off into the woods, but you have to be better than this. Road rage is stupid. Now, on the side of the truck driver, we don't know what happened to cause that. I'm going to assume it was something minor, but recognize here, you see a dude with a gun, and man, I would stomp that gas pedal, get around that guy, especially you're in a truck, you've got some ground clearance, get away from the guy and get on the phone with 911. Probably would have been a better answer here initially, because once you get away from this guy, you get more than a couple of feet away from him. There's no chance he's going to be able to hit you with that gun. I'll just about guarantee it. Now, you noted in the first playthrough that our guy in the truck said, should I shoot him? And I honestly think the answer here is yes, he should have, because, you know, I think he took an extreme risk here and he was ridiculously patient. And so this guy is now in jail awaiting trial, rather than in the morgue or in the hospital recovering from the bullet wounds that he would have otherwise. But I want you to recognize what a risk the driver in the truck took, that he bet his life and the life of the lady that is with him, which I'm going to assume is his romantic partner, girlfriend, wife, whatever, that he is taking an extreme risk because this guy can literally pick that gun up and fire it from the hip in a quarter second when it's in his hand like that. In a quarter second from when that gun starts moving, it can fire and endanger your life or kill you or your wife. So he took a humongous risk here. So with the answer, should I shoot this guy? We talk about can I shoot someone versus should I shoot someone versus must I shoot someone? And this one I think is firmly in the should I category. Can you? Absolutely. He faced a deadly threat. The guy is threatening him with a gun in his hand, and threatening and hollering at him, pointing the gun at him. That is absolutely a deadly threat, without question. A gun in hand, a handgun in hand, is absolutely seen as the use of a handgun. That is threatening with that handgun. He's using it to gain compliance and tell him how serious he is. So, he absolutely can. Now, I think he showed that must I? Well, the guy didn't end up shooting him. So the must is a no, but the should I think he actually should have. Because I think here that the risk was extreme to himself and to his wife. Here is where our perpetrator here got the armed robbery charges. And I think these will stick, and maybe the prosecutor will use them to get the guy to plead to serious charges of the other ones. But he tries to grab the lady's phone. And so he is threatening her with a gun, threatening her with a weapon, and using force to take her property. That's the definition of armed robbery. And they got him on that and got it on video, him doing it. And therefore, these charges are going to stick, friends. And so you're talking about serious, deadly, dangerous, designated felonies. And this dude is going to absolutely lose the right to own firearms, lose his right to vote, probably do hard time in prison over this. You're not going to get probation over this. You're going to do some actual prison time over this one, and you should. This is why you got to be a good person. Now, how did all of this, I think, start to come down? So our guy here, our hothead, is a nimrod, a moron. He's, committed battery here, and all that goes with it, committed armed robbery, aggravated assault. You know why? I'm gonna make you a big bet. Now, I haven't got discovery on this one, but you notice he's got the gun in his hand pointed down. I will bet you a mortgage payment. That's because he keeps that gun in his console or in his glove box and not on his person. I will bet you a mortgage payment he does not have a holster on his person, and that's why he's got the gun in his hand that he's probably articulated to his lawyer. He shouldn't to the district attorney, but to his lawyer, well, I picked the gun up because I was worried. I wanted to go and give him a piece of my mind, but I was worried that the other guy might hurt me, and so I picked up my gun to have just in case. Guys, this is why you don't want to keep a gun in the car, because if you don't have a means to secure it on your person, then when you jump out of the car with that gun, you are likely committing aggravated assault. You're likely committing aggravated robbery, especially with the road rage component and putting his hands inside the car. Those are what add to all that. So this is why I just don't think a gun in the car, in the console, or in the glove box, not to mention it's the #1 way that guns get stolen and used in crimes in America, is because if you don't have a means to keep that gun on your person secure in a holster, you ain't going to do that, and you're not going to put it on. And you think he was going to get out even if it was in a holster in the console and put that holster on his person? I strongly doubt it. This is why I don't recommend that, and I think it's bad policy and a bad practice. So what's the best way to keep a gun in your car? In the same holster that you brought it into the car with you, which means in your person and in the holster on your person that you kept it in. That's where you should have that gun all the time. Now then, our homie drives off and decides, you know what, this was just a normal day. Everything's fine. We just had a little argument, so he decides he ain't gonna call the cops. Well, now I got you on video. I got your plate number. Hopefully and I'm sure they did get the plate number because they caught this guy a couple hours later. And guess what? This is a reminder for me to you that one of the parts of in our legal system is, generally speaking, the person that's seen initially as the victim is the one who calls 911, the one who calls and gets help from police. So you want to be that person. You want to be the one that calls 911, that starts that process going, hello, police, I need help. Somebody has just assaulted me with a deadly weapon, and I'm scared, and I need you here. These folks did that. Our guy in the Mercedes didn't. He's going to have those charges hanging over him. Now, I'm not saying that just calling 911 alleviates you of guilt, right? Because if you are the one who did the aggressing, then your initial 911 call is not going to just make that evaporate. Eventually, they'll do their investigation and realize, hey, you were actually the aggressor here, not the victim. So it can be overcome. But that's part of things. So when we talk about what's the thing to do after the use of deadly force, winning the fight to 911 is important. I would recommend, if you were the one that used deadly force, that you have somebody else call 911 if at all possible. We talk about that on the Active Self-Protection Extra channel all the time in our John's Brief segments that post every Friday on YouTube, 3 days before that in the Asp Unlimited app. So join us there for more of that. Boy, I think our defender here, he kept a very cool head. And I think that he actually took a humongous risk to his own life and the life of his wife. Let's think about those lessons and don't be road ragers, friends. There's no way to road rage and cover your asp.